Okay, guys. Thanks for holding out there for a moment. Didn't see any burning suggestions in the chat, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. If you want to stick around, great, but certainly understand if you want to move on with your evening. Freeman says, you seriously need to try to track down the NES G.I. Joe games. They're fantastic multipath Contra-style games. That sounds pretty good. I'll have to look into that. I just made a purchase this weekend on geekgames.com. That's where I get the majority of my retro stuff. That was not part of it, but I'll have to keep that in mind. But alright, so... anyone that knows me personally knows that I put a lot of time into this game. So we're gonna see if we can't get all the way through it tonight. I've had a couple of attempts doing the stream, Facebook, but let's see if we can't get it on camera so that I can add that to the catalog. Only thing I'm doing, and I mentioned this last time we played through it, is I'm going to do the start menu kind of cheat, I guess. Which basically you hold down A, B, and hit start, and it starts the game with 2 extra lives. That's all I'm doing. Otherwise, we're going to play straight through. Dave, beer of choice is just straight up PBR. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Clamato, but, you know, I'm not going to crucify you for drinking it. You know, I used to be a pretty big, like, beer aficionado, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, critique, of, like, crappier beers when I worked in the food service industry. But at this point, you know, I don't want to pay $20 for a 6-pack of, you know, whatever, so I just buy PBR anymore. Now, that being said, there are some that I'll buy, that are a little nicer. I do like me a good Deschutes Jubilale, and it's the time of the year that they have that on offer. 90 Shilling from Odell Brewing is really good, if you've never tried that. Trying to think. I mean, it's kind of hard to go wrong with beer in general. The only beers I don't really care for are, like, sour beers. But otherwise, I'll take whatever. Yeah, that's fair. It's certainly not everybody's cup of tea. Or mug of beer, I guess, more accurately. Alright, so like I mentioned while we were playing through Bucky O'Hare, these first 2 levels are basically whatever. They're just gimmies to get people into the game. The one thing I will say about this level, though, this is a good level to play through and try to rack up some extra lives. And basically the way you do that is by hitting these bird bodies over and over. You'll see that you get increased points for every instance that you actually hit it. And after the 10,000 point marker, you'll earn an extra life straight up. Just like that. And there are several opportunities to do that through the course of this level. I haven't actually sat and counted, like, how many you could literally do if you perfect and hit all of them, but it's probably somewhere in the range of, like, at least 10 to 12. I mean, there's a lot of birds on this freaking level, so... There's 2. And my philosophy is to err on the side of not losing lives that you already have. So what I mean by that is, like, those birds will clip your line and kill you automatically if you are in the wrong position. So rather than trying to hit the bird bodies to gain extra lives, it's better to just save the life that you have. Get our life back here. Now, these ones are trickier because the birds start swarming, so to some degree I'm not going to worry about it. We've already done well by getting 3. Not even counting extra lives by points that we might end up getting through this level. There. These ones are a little tricky trying to do it through the electrical barriers. There's 5 altogether. And I'll explain it on this stream since I haven't done it yet. The extra life meter will actually record lives beyond the 5 that you see right now. And I'm just gonna kill all these guys. They're too much. So I actually have somewhere in the realm of probably 11 or 12 lives at the moment. Even if you only see the 5 hearts. Okay, so this is kind of the danger of trying to get all these extra lives is, you know, having these birds swarm you and then, you know, kill you like that. We're still up a lot of lives, so that's good. Would have preferred not to have died on this level at all, but, you know. I've certainly had worse runs of this game. Let's put it that way. Alright, so this is the last section. You see I just let the bird body go right there. In line with the philosophy that I just talked about. Cool, so we ended up with net 5 lives with the extra one that we got from points. So we're going to be in pretty good shape going into the later part of this game. I should be able to get this turbo tunnel done in 1 run. But we'll see. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. You're going to notice that I'm doing the headbutt technique as much as possible, because it tends to earn you the most points. Like if you just kill those little Space Invader guys, normally they don't actually give you any points. But if you headbutt them, you get 1,000. The only thing you need to be careful on this part of the level is just to make sure you don't go flying off the stage with this move right there. Oh, and before I forget, actually, let me go get that that thing that I was talking about that my friend Ethan made. Give me 1 moment. The rats are getting stuck and only their head being in the ground scared you. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So he made the rash kicking animation thing, so I just have this on my shelf with all of my NES and SNES games, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, you like that, Freeman? It's pretty sweet. That was right around the time that I was playing a lot of Battletoads, working on actually beating the game for the first time, so he decided to give me a little thing to commemorate it, I guess. But alright, here we go. Turbo Tunnel. This first section is not challenging. I don't think anybody has trouble with the first about 3 sections of this. Did you? It's all about learning the quirks of how it all works. Just unintentionally a rhyme, I suppose. You'll see. Really not too bad once you know what you're doing. Okay, so these guys, if you just watch the shadow, that's where they're going to drop the barrier. Okay, here we go. So this section, sometimes people have trouble on, because there's one part where you have to jump on your own prompting. You lied. You didn't die 100 times on the first section. I just jumped there just to be on the safe side. But here you've got to jump basically as late as you can get away with. Don't touch the D-pad. And here's the final section. There you go, there's the turbo tunnel. Thank you. I just noticed I had the Stream Decker app up for when I was streaming on Arena, so never mind that. Hopefully that's doesn't look like it's in the way. So that was bad. You're supposed to run like that to get past those. Okay, so here we go, Arctic Caverns. So a lot of what this level consists of is messing around with these ice cubes and dodging snowballs and otherwise. Come on. Okay, not that big of a deal. There's some pretty difficult platforming later on in this level. But I'll kind of just explain it as we go. This is about the last sort of typical level that you're going to see in this game. Here I listen for the audio of those snowballs being thrown and jump when I hear it. Okay, usually if you headbutt that guy, he'll die on the first attack, so that would be the preferred way to take care of him. Okay, this one, there's an ice cube that comes down. If you stick all the way to the left to take out this snowman, you'll avoid it. Here, I don't throw it directly at the wall because you can't actually get it all the way up there. For whatever reason, you can get it up to the left side all the way, but you can't do it on the right side. Snowball that comes here, dodge that. This icicle falls at the same speed that you do. As long as you're in front of it, it doesn't matter. 1-2 pattern on that. This one is 1 up, 1 down that goes a little faster. Just take your time. Yeah. I would say that that doesn't work out very well. There's an extra life right here, and as with pretty much every extra life that's just laying around on the stages in this game, you should go for it every time you can. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is you get the extra life and then die. Whatever. But best case scenario is you get the extra life and you move on. Which obviously is the preferred result. But it'll keep reappearing over and over every time you come through that section. So, no reason not to get it. And there, I kind of wait to move to the left of the screen a little bit until I have the ice cube under control. That way I don't have to worry about the spiky shell as well. Real quick before I move on here, that stalactite that's on the very left of the screen right now, that jump, you need to wait a split second longer before you actually make your jump, or you're just going to bang your head onto it and hit the spikes below. It's really unassuming until you've done it 100 times to get a feel for it. So if you're playing through this game and you come through that section and you're just struggling with it, know that I went through that too. NES G.I. Joe is 60 to 70 bucks. Holy crap. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to check it out before I'm willing to commit to something like that. Now, if we were doing warps, there's actually a warp right here. You have to go down a little ways, and the warp's just right there. But we're not going to be cheaters. We're also, obviously, not speedrunning this game and abusing the couple of glitches that do exist. There's a pretty big one that lets you skip through a good chunk of this level. That last little platform that I got killed on is the quickest out of all of them, so you need to basically run through it and do it as soon as you have the opportunity to, like that. It's not often that it'll actually kill me, but it did manage to get me that time. I'm not going to worry about those 10,000 points. I'd rather not lose the life since we're right at the end of the level. Freeman, before I forget, and before the night gets too late, did you get around to watching those very special episodes this weekend? Okay, so this is the next sort of racing level in the game. These logs will take half your life for each one that hits you, like that. 2 of them will kill you. And you'll notice on these levels where you're like kind of riding something, racing, whatever, that I'm gonna be holding back anytime I do die because I want to hit that little starting or checkpoint bar. It gives you 5,000 points. Ah, missed the one up there. That one you need to be aligned on the very edge of the little waterfall that's right there, if possible, and also need to line up your shadow in order to actually get it. That's okay, there's another life a little bit further into the level that we should be able to grab without too much issue. I don't worry about the life too much. There are a pair of flies coming up here momentarily. Oh, okay. Well, hey, I appreciate that. So you'll notice on this level, as well as in level 1, I let these walker guys actually get killed in frame, because otherwise their head is going to go flying off the screen, and I want to be able to smash it for points. The point collection is just a matter of extra life earnings, which is very important in this game. And here we're going to cheese Big Blag a little bit to get him up against the screen. This guy's pretty difficult to kill otherwise. 21 hits, just like all the other bosses in this game outside of the opening boss. Alright, so this is the final section. There are going to be these mines. These mines appear randomly. So my best recommendation for going through this is not staying all the way back to the left. You can stay about halfway from the middle of the screen there, because you want to be able to utilize the entire amount of the river to dodge them. This, you need to get all the way forward to get that one up, otherwise you're not going to have the height at the end of it. One more jump, and then there are 3 mines right here, and this is the end of the level. This one you can stay all the way back if you want to. Easy. Okay, so technically, since this game did come first, these are the snakes that Bucky O'Hare kind of copied a little bit. This is what we were talking about earlier. And while these don't move as fast, I do think, in general, this section is a little bit more difficult for a newcomer than playing through Bucky O'Hare. But they're both, you know, difficult in their own ways. So there are 4 sections of snakes. There's actually a warp in this room. I'll show you where it is. It's actually right below me, but you have to get over here quickly. Basically, you have to jump right off the snake. It would be right there. Shit. Let's try to catch up on that one. Basically, what you would do would be jump off right here and land through those spikes and into the warp that would be right in the corner. This one, I don't jump because there are spikes above. I just double tap to run off the edge of the snake. This one, you just have to jump over 3 spikes. Shit. That snake, you kind of need to sit on the first part of it for a second. Of course, I say I don't think this is all that difficult, and then I end up dying a few times on this section, which I really don't ever die in. I guess that's the added stream commentary. It's affecting me a little bit. It's not like hyper difficult to stream, talk, and do this at the same time, but it is an added element that when you're just playing at home by yourself, you don't have to worry about. So here we're gonna wait for the snake to come back around. Next snake is just going to quickly take us to the far side of the level. Room, rather. Right by the exit. This is potentially the hardest part of this level. This has the most snakes that you're going to need to navigate. I think there are 7 in total. Next one's going to come out in the hole below me, and I'm going to jump a little bit, even though I don't believe you actually need to do anything like that. Just a matter of making sure. This one you need to wait until it comes all the way back around. And you can just hang out here for a moment. Yeah, having comedic timing is certainly something that not everybody's good at. Anybody can tell like a dad joke or whatever, but... Last few of these snakes are all just really fast ones. Oh my god, almost didn't make that. So this one, abandon the snake. Jump over here. This one's not too bad. You just basically need to stay as long as you can on that snake. Can't go wrong here. Yeah, those last 4 snakes in that level are just fast as hell. This is the last snake of the level. So we're gonna hang out up here as long as possible. Jump over here, and there's the exit. Rocket snakes. Alright, so that was level 6. A little sloppier than I'm accustomed to, but that's alright. So this is, in my opinion, probably the second hardest level in the game, outside of level 10. Level 10 is my personal nightmare. All the enemies die more quickly, but overall, the platforming is a little more difficult, and you see me almost just spill myself into the drink. I can't remember the last time I actually died to an enemy in this level. So, that was a rare glimpse into what can happen if you're not paying attention. But there is a turbo tunnel section here as well. If you miss the last snake, that's technically not actually the last snake. You're not supposed to go over to the top of it like we did. There are actually a couple other snakes, but if you miss that one, you're likely just falling to your death. The only room where you can actually get away with falling off of a snake is the very first one. You'll fall all the way down to the bottom of the floor. It's the only room in the game that will actually not just give you a bottomless pit. These guys are a little difficult. Kind of have to time your punches, but those are one-hit kills, so you want to make sure that you do your best not to get hit by them. Okay, so this is the second turbo tunnel. Not quite as familiar with this one, so forgive me if I mess this one up a little bit. This one is much harder than the first one. Yeah, I totally forgot I needed to go up right there, so. Up, down, stay there, go up, down, up, down, up, middle, up, middle. These ones you need to stay a little bit forward. Down, up. That's that section. So these fireballs are all random. And I'm basically going to stay up here in the corner and watch the top right corner. Because while this is likely the safest spot on the screen, it's not foolproof. You do have to dodge some of the fireballs. There is that one up that appears after 46 fireballs. I don't count them, I just kind of have an internal timer that tells me when I need to move down for it. Wow, that was like the easiest I've ever had that. Same as the section before. I'm going to stay in the bottom corner this time, because the missiles will not hit you if you're all the way down. You can see I'm actually clipping through them. There are 5 waves of these rockets, or missiles, or whatever. The falling ones I do still have to dodge. And there's going to be an extra life on the final wave of these up towards the top, so I am going to get off of the ground there. Okay, this is the second to last section. And here's the final section. For this, I'm not going to be looking at the left side of the screen at all. I'm just going to watch where the bars blink and use my peripheral vision to align the player with where I need to be. The last one I'm probably going to screw up on a couple of occasions. It requires a very precise... Oh, alright, then never mind, we're just going to get all the way through it. It requires a very precise timing to get that down right, but that's actually 3 for 3 that I've done that section on my first try. When I was doing this on Facebook, I did a couple runs of it and got through it first time. Thanks, Freeman. Okay, elevator shaft. So this level, it's not too difficult, but you do want to try and retain this bar that I've got for as long as possible. It's not required to kill any of the enemies, and in fact, as with most of the stuff in this game, you're going to see me continue to use the headbutt to kill the enemies for maximum points. But there are wall-mounted, I don't know what you want to call them, like traps, I guess, that you can only destroy if you have a bar. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. This is the only guy that I'm going to actually just smack like that. It's very difficult to land on that platform and ram it. I guess I'm going to smack these stupid things too. Those are all just random, how they're going to jump and all that stuff. Alright, we'll ram, or smack that guy too. The electrical barriers on these platforms you can actually jump through before they've fully engaged the beam. Okay, this is where we're going to start running into this stuff. You see the wind up there from that fan and this gas spray. The gas is actually one-hit kill, so we want to make sure we don't get hit by that at all. If I get hit here, the bar is actually going to fall off the screen, so I don't want to do that. This is the hardest section to do if you don't have the bar, because you have to dodge the gas sprayer as well as that guy's electrical attack, and they do not give you a lot of time for it. So here, I'm going to jump up a little higher to try and get the the fan going up there, so I can time the cycle right. Because these ones are also one-hit kills, and as opposed to the other one that just tries to push you off of the level. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Alright, so we're coming right up to the end of the level here. This is the last kind of difficult jump to make. Not difficult in the traditional sense, but just making sure you dodge the gas. And here, you don't need to rush, just take your time. We are going to lose the bar, because there is a boss fight up here that you can't use it on. Oops. But that's okay, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this guy, basically every time he lands like that, he's going to shoot, and if you get hit by any of his bullets, you are going to die. While it does take 3 shots, they will all hit you before you have an opportunity to get up. He can also smash you if you aren't careful, which I'm a little surprised he didn't do earlier, or right there for that matter. So you're gonna only see me attempt to go, yeah, there you go, or a double hit if I feel that it's extremely safe. So generally, I want to be as close as I can be to him when he lands so that I can hit him quickly after. Wow, I don't know. Only died one time, huh? Oh, interesting. Do you have like a link or anything like that that I might need to get involved with that? Okay, so this level, this is one that can sometimes give me a little bit of trouble in the later sections, but we'll cover that more in detail when we get there. These robots, if they come into contact with you, they'll explode. So you just want to make sure to actually kill them as soon as possible. Their electrical attacks will kill you in 2 hits, so you've got a little bit of leeway in that regard. But better just to kill them while you can. It's the last robot for the time being. Into the second section. Dodging these gears, so this gear is a one-hit kill. All you need to do is stay ahead of it. In this section, you're going to see there are spikes. Those are all, of course, one-hit kills as well. And if you're paying close attention, what you'll notice is that every time I'm dropping in a jump, the direction that I need to go in immediately afterwards is opposite the direction that I'm going. So, for example, I'll show you here. Going right, then left. Right, then left. It's never the same direction twice. Okay, so these eels are kind of a pain in the ass. They just go wherever the hell they want. And they will kill you in 2 hits as well. I don't generally screw around with this one too much, just if he gets in my way. Jumping mechanics coming out of the water are a little odd. You're basically going to do a full jump when you're coming out of the water, regardless of what your momentum is. So you just want to make sure to hold the jump button as you're coming up out of there. Once you clear this pipe, go up to avoid that fish. Still going to the right here a little bit. The quicker you can do this, the better, otherwise there will be eels that pop out of those little holes that you saw. Gray eels I do hit. They are more predictable. There's going to be a pair of sharks here. Just get them out of your way. There's a 1-up that you want to grab right here. And then this is the next section. This is the hardest part of all of this section of the level. You'll see why here. It's a little tighter than it looks. Ah, shit. Cool, yeah, that sounds good. This one you need to wait until basically the last possible second to kick up from there so that you don't hit the spikes and also don't get crushed by the wheel at the same time. So again, hold jump the entire time you're moving up right there. This is the hardest part of this section. That's a lot tighter than it looks. So, coming up on the final part, I found the strategy that works best for me right there is you do want to get that 1-up every time. There's a checkpoint right there, and you're going to continue to spawn at that section. What's worked best for me to deal with that shark is to jump over the spike, get the 1-up, or get ready to get the 1-up, and then pound him like this. That'll get him out of the way for the moment so that he doesn't hit you into the spikes. As you see here, next obstacle to get through in this section are the rubber ducks. Rubber ducks all kill you in one hit, so it's best to not get hit. And you basically want to engage them at the maximum distance. If I can hit him with one punch, he'll turn around like that, and now I can fight him. 7 punches to knock him over. There are 2 more. The third one is going to be a little bit closer to the wall, so you have less time to actually kill him. And he can turn around and get you if you aren't careful. This little fish here. Similarly, I often don't worry about that guy, but it kind of depends on what his movement's doing. Right there was a little bit of bad RNG on that. But you see why they give you that 1-up there. It's because you're going to be doing this section over and over again in all likelihood. When I first started streaming this on Facebook, I think I probably died about 25 to 30 times just getting through this section. And generally speaking, I don't think it is a section that is that hard. But for some reason, you kind of just have to have like a perfect storm of things go your way in order to get through it quickly. The enemies in the second part of this, little fish and sharks and all that, they are a little bit of RNG as to how they behave, so that kind of affects how things can go. So instead of blasting through it, let's see what this guy wants to do. Just let him get by us right there. The shark that appears right there, he's going to come back up towards this section, so I'm going to wait. And the hit detection is a little wacky on this guy. Sometimes it's going to look like I should have hit him. Other times it's going to look like I shouldn't have hit him, but I actually did. Anyway, this is one of the more tricky parts of the game, so I will try and get through this as quickly as I can. Sorry that you have to stare at this for a little while longer. The good thing here, though, is that you're continuing to generate points to get extra lives. So as long as we're getting that extra life every time we die and start over here, this actually isn't even the worst thing. We're going to get an extra life on this one here, provided I can kill even just one of these ducks. Alright, so here comes the extra life. And we're pretty close to maxing out the score, which is not really all that uncommon. I actually do it pretty often. But you can only earn points for every 100,000, so we've earned the maximum amount of points that we can, or extra lives as a result of the maximum amount of points. Alright, just let him go. Alright, and I think he's coming back one more time. Get over on this wall. There, now we're good. There's one more duck up here in the water, but we're not gonna be able to do anything about him. So, just get out of here, and grab this, and now we're home free. As long as I don't accidentally hit one of these spikes. There you go, there's the Terra tubes. May 29th and 30th. Yeah, certainly let me know a little bit about that. That would be a lot of fun. And would certainly help give my channel some exposure too. I assume they would be fine with me plugging my channel. Alright, so this is my least favorite level in the game. And the first 2/3 of it are fine. Not a problem at all. The premise here is that we're racing this rat. And while you're racing him, you actually don't need to double tap to run. It's gonna do that automatically for you. The problem is, you need to be basically perfect to beat the 3rd rat. You gotta get down here, kick this bomb. There is a way to actually kill the rat right there, but it requires some pretty specific manipulation of your position in relation to the rat, and I'm not good at it at all. And there I kind of screwed up a little bit on that gas. Normally you don't need to jump to get past it, but I did because otherwise I was going to die. I think we'll be okay. This section's a little tight right there. Okay, got it. But basically, you manipulate the rat so that when he lands on that bottom level with the bomb, he actually is still running. You can headbutt him and then kick him, and that will kill him and complete the level. In all the time that I've played this game, I've never actually been able to do it. But I have seen it done. So this is the hard one. Try and focus here. Oh god. Okay. Electrical barrier. Alright, wow. We got it through the first try. I'll explain real quick why that is so hard. So, first of all, I'm not playing on a CRT TV. That's one part of this experience that's not as authentic as it could have been. Yeah, I've talked to you a lot about that stupid rat. But basically, because there's a tiny little bit of input lag while you're going through that, and you need to be very precise within 98% probably of your inputs to be able to hit that correctly, that means I'm having to act a split second before I actually need to change my direction. And in those sections where I'm having to go back and forth very quickly, that can really add up fast. And that's the hardest section, is when it gets like into those quickly adjusting your direction segments. Anyway, we got extremely lucky and did not have to play through that more than once, which is amazing. I think that's probably the first time I've ever gone through it on the first try like that. I'm going to try not to die here, because I probably shouldn't under most circumstances. So as you can kind of see already, this guy is just going to go back and forth faster and faster. Whoa. The more you hit him. I don't know how he didn't crush me there. He's supposed to kind of go off to the side like that before he lands. Got lucky again. I guess maybe if you're just right up against the wall, he won't actually hit you. We could try going for a second hit, like that. Typically don't, though. I like to play it a little bit safe. Alright, cool. So we didn't lose a life. You can see I've maxed the score, so we are good on score. We don't have to worry about any of that for the rest of the game. So on to level 11. I think this level is actually quite easy relative to what's been going on the last few levels. So all you have to do on this level is hold the direction that the wheel needs to travel. Sounds easy. Problem is, you need to be very accurate. Every time you hear that little sound right there, that's when you need to hit the button to change directions. And every time you do it successfully, you'll gain a little bit of distance on this buzzball that's chasing you. But if you are pressing the wrong direction at any given point, it will slow you down very quickly. But basically, once you know the layout of the course, you know what's coming up, it's fairly simple. There are a couple sections in this that you need to make sure you've built up enough of a lead on the buzzball in order to have a shot at beating it. And you can see right now it's like off the screen. I have a really great run at the moment. This is the main one right here. You're going to go up super high. There's not a lot of opportunities to switch your direction and gain on it. So that's the main one. It's a little quick one right there. Here we are right at the end. Now we hop off the wheel and fight this guy. I don't usually get that aggressive on it. Usually only hit it once per cycle, but sometimes you can get away with multiple hits. Cool. Bam. Alright, so here we go. We're on the last level. I've got several lives. We have not used a continue yet. Maybe this is the run. This level is very difficult. All the enemies have the capacity to kill you pretty quickly. And there are just a ton of jumps in this. I'm probably going to mess this up quite a bit. So, apologies in advance if that happens. There are several different kinds of platforms in this level. You can see these weighted ones here fall while you're on them. There's the disappearing ones. These guys, the strategy is to headbutt, take a quick step back, and then headbutt again, so that you dodge their attack without being too far away. If you get off your rhythm a little bit, you can use the pole to kind of reset. There are a couple checkpoints in this level, and I will try to point them out as we come up to them. This is one that takes 4. Yeah. So, I think this is the first squelchy, yep. These guys don't stand in front of, just hit them with your bar. That first headbutt that I did was actually a little bit risky, I probably shouldn't have done that. Okay, these guys will kill you in one hit. Same thing applies, just a little bit faster. And again, if you get off of your rhythm, just use the bar. In that case, the hit detection actually works in our favor. Do I know the turbo tunnel on my guitar? I haven't actually tried to learn it. But it's probably not too hard. I do know the little jingle when you beat the level. I actually just figured that out last night. This one you got to be a little bit careful. You don't want to rush on that one because you'll run right into those bubbles, and all of those red ones are a one-hit kill. Those are like poisonous gas bubbles or whatever. So now we have to wait for this guy to go down. And you'll be able to tell as he's going around the corner whether or not he's going to rush quickly or slowly, which will inform how you need to be prepared for him. This is a fast one. This is a slow one. And it still got hit. That's alright. Grab the bar. This is the most durable of them all. It's a fast one. Takes, I believe, 7 hits to actually kill that guy. Okay. We're past the first checkpoint. We're coming right up to the next one. Specifically where it's at. It's right before the 4 disappearing platforms, though. I think that's coming up right here. Quick. That was a little early. I shouldn't have jumped quite that soon. Okay, this next section is going to have a face that blows wind. So, before you jump up on that platform, grab this bar. Don't touch anything on the controller, just let him blow you. LOL. And I wait for him to physically get off of the screen before I get off that bar. So, we are right before the checkpoint. That's the checkpoint right there. So this one is a series of 4 disappearing platforms that you need to jump as quickly as possible. You see that last one almost disappeared. Got real lucky right there. Get off. God. Alright. So we've got more of that right here. Touch your controller. Yeah, kinda. Alright. Alright, so that should be the last of those enemies. There's one more of these guys. Okay, I think that's the actual last enemy that you kill this level. So this one's gonna have 2 in a row. There's gonna be another platform coming around, fall onto that one. Oh god, I didn't hold jump on that one, whoops. Okay. So there's that. For some reason, it always seems like the 3rd headbutt on that guy is like hit or miss for me. Okay. We're still doing really well though, we're almost at the end of the level. Still looking really good on lives and everything. And we just have that Squelchy to kill. Okay, great. Alright, so got a whole jump on that. I kind of, in the moment, just forgot about it. Alright, so after we get past this, there's going to be like a yellow squelchy that just blows wind, and he's going to be trying to knock us off the platform, kind of similar to those guys. And there's going to be a whole, like, jumping section that we need to go through. So, let's see. Here we go. And to my knowledge, you can't actually kill this guy. There we go, alright. Level 12 beat. Now we're at the Dark Queen. So general rule of thumb is don't hit her while she's in the tornado. Wait until she comes out of that and falls. It's easier to hit her when she's facing away from you, but not impossible. Okay, that's fine. We've got plenty of lives to fight her. I think this is more lives than I've ever had fighting her. So while she goes off screen, just move. Use your gamer instinct. It says don't, you know, stand still. Damn. Come on, how was that not a hit? Get a break, come on. Go. Oh, Jesus. I should have dashed. Sorry, guys, if I'm not chatting all that much. I'm just trying to focus. Jesus, okay. It's 21 hits to kill her. We're probably within 5 or 6 hits, I would say. One thing you do need to watch out for when you're on this fight at the end is to not stand in the middle of the level, because what she's going to do is come down from the bottom. Oh, it was close. And she can actually hit you from that point. So if you're on your last life and within the potential to lose a life, just be careful. Alright, a couple more hits here. Come on, you bitch. Oh, shit. I'll take that rather than getting, like, comboed by her. It's fine. Wish I could take advantage of those iframes, but not that lucky. It's a good thing we came in here with as many lives as we did. We're getting kind of clowned. Alright, there she is. And that, my friends, is Battletoads. Game is very difficult, but not impossible. Now you can say you've seen me do it, Freeman. And it only took us a little over an hour. Hour and 50 seconds or so. That took me months to be able to get through that game like that. Like, hours and hours and hours and hours of playing that game. Yeah, man, I'm glad you enjoyed. It was cool getting tips from you playing through Bucky O'Hare as somebody who's really familiar with that game. So it's nice that I was able to kind of, you know, return the favor and show you a game that I am really well versed in. Not a speedrunner of it, obviously, but a game that I know inside and out. And yeah, like you were talking about, whatever that event, the kind of casual speedrun or whatever, that'd be awesome to find out more about that and get involved with that if possible. TMNT Hard 2-player, yeah, I mean, we could do that. We'd have to have him over here to play it. Retro Block Party. Okay, cool. I didn't see if you had messaged me anything prior, so apologies if you had already and I just missed it. But I will look into that. And yeah, maybe Freeman, once I get to the point that we can do something like that with this social distancing thing not being a factor anymore, we might be able to do that. But alright, man. Okay, that sounds good, Dave. But I think I'm going to call that for tonight. It's just short of 10 o'clock, so probably want to start winding down here before too long. I've got to get back to work tomorrow morning. But I appreciate everyone sticking with me for the last few hours. We've actually been going for about 3.5 hours, give or take. So, not too bad. About the average stream length that I've been hitting. And maybe next time I'll get the Silver Surfer going on here so that we have record of that on Twitch again, and then I can subsequently have that on my YouTube channel. This is going to be a good one to put up there. But until then, thanks again, guys. Really appreciate you being here and engaging in the chat. It's been a lot of fun swapping stories and everything with you. And Dave, again, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. If you've got anybody that you think might enjoy this type of content, send them my way. The more I can grow this channel, the more I can actually get away with doing this more frequently. Otherwise, my schedule, as of right now, looking at doing probably Tuesdays, but definitely Wednesday, Thursdays. Give or take a Thursday here or there. And then try to do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. So I'm going to be around quite a bit. Anyway, don't want to ramble anymore. Thanks again. Appreciate everything. And I will catch you all on the next one. Thanks, guys.